Hello, welcome to the vlog. I have the second part of my ADHD assessment in approximately 4 minutes and I am weirdly really nervous. So let's go and set up for it. Alexa, stop. Let the records. Ooh.
Hi Melanie.
Hello, how are you?
I'm alright, thanks. I'm Helen, the psychiatrist. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
I'm sorry I've left you a couple of minutes waiting. I was struggling with Zoom. I was like, technology.
It's usually me that happens to, so
You don't have to go through everything again. I've been reading what she's written because I know there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We ask and stuff, and a lot of questionnaires and things.
Yeah.
And normally what we do is we go through it and then I might speak to Fiona and we'll come back to you with a diagnosis.
Right.
And I've just got to go through some physical stuff and other things.
Okay.
Is there anything though that you want to discuss with me?
No, my only question was, like, should I be taking notes right now or what?
It's really interesting. I was reading your stuff. If I'm going to be totally honest, it's not completely clear cut, and that's why I'm kind of going, have to discuss again with Fiona.
Yeah.
Because a lot of, I don't know if she said, but a lot of it is very obvious recently. But the long-term stuff is what we need, and that's a wee bit sort of shaky. And nothing, not critical, just that we want to be definite. Because your childhood was pretty different from what the questionnaires and things suggest.
Yeah.
But then Fiona's going, well, that could have been because you had stuff organised for you. With that was the essential crux of the dilemma sort of thing.
Yeah.
It just you had someone else doing all the day-to-day things?
Yeah. I was like the Hermione from Harry Potter. I was the grade A student, like going through school. Like I just, and people used to say to me, like, how are you, even when I was at university, I had like a part-time job and I was still on top of like all my uni work. I was handing things in like early and things. But I think it is that because I had like my mum and my dad, well my mum, like she did all the adult and stuff, so like the the housework and the like doing everything for me. Whereas now, yeah, I'm a bit like, because I'm like, how can I now be such in contrast to how I was when I was younger?
That kind of good as a good summary of what me and Fiona were saying, because we're like, gosh, because I suppose at the moment the diagnosis hinges on sort of scores and our perceptions of stuff and experience, and it's not an exact science. That's the worst bit about mental health things, because it's in the future I think we'll have a brain scan.
Yeah.
Well, that's that. But at the moment we're left with this sort of subjective, lots of questions. And I don't know if Fiona said your scores on the main diagnostic questionnaire were quite low for childhood.
Yeah.
So we've got to justify why, because you scored 0 for inattentive ones in childhood on those very limited questions, and only 3 for the distracted and impulsive ones in childhood. Your scores for adulthood were fine and way above the threshold.
That's not sounding arrogant to say, but I know why I'm ADHD, right? And see if it was just a case of because one of my friends actually said that to me. She was like, why do you need a diagnosis if you know yourself? Like, why do you need? And it's because it's having such an impact on my life that I do really want to try like the medication to see if it helps me. So of course, like, I don't know, I just worry that if I don't like get it, then I'm kind of going to be in a circle, like stuck in a circle. And like Fiona did mention, she did say that obviously my assessment was ADHD, and she wasn't assessing for autism, but she actually, she did actually bring that up, and she said to me, like, what do you think about that? And I said, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. Like I said, I'm not surprised because like my dad's brother is Asperger's, and like my dad is definitely, he's like one of, was it 5? And there's definitely, they're all on the spectrum one way or the other. So it doesn't surprise me in that way. But I was quite surprised in the sense that, that sounds really terrible, but when I think of like autism, I think of like Rain Man or like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory, or like super intelligent people. But then it would also explain sometimes some of the ways I am, for example, like emotionally. So I am a very emotional within myself. Like I like cry at everything. Like I feel things like really deeply. But see, when it comes to the opposite side, like as in emotions from other people, when other people get upset, like I don't. Oh, sorry, that's not. When other people get upset, I don't always know like what to do or how to respond, and sometimes as well, I can be quite like, for all that I do consider myself a very empathetic person, I do sometimes catch myself being the opposite. Like,
there's a thing called object permanence. Have you heard of that?
No.
So I don't know whether you. I was looking through your stuff. Whether what sort of learner were you at university? That might help. How did you take in information? What worked best for you?
So I remember like writing everything out continuously used to help me learn, like only for short term. So for example, like my degree's in history, right? But see, if you asked me now anything, I couldn't tell you. But I could, like, what I used to do is, for like when I was studying for my exams, for example, I would literally just write over and over. I don't know how I did it actually. I would either write, or I think I took to typing eventually. But I would like record my lectures, for example, on a little like dictaphone thing, and then I would go home at night and like type all that up. And then, yeah, it just seemed to be that kind of repetitive. In terms of like my memory generally, like I remember like really random things, like random things from like my childhood, but I couldn't tell you. Like when people say to me, like for example, my PT clients will say, "Oh, how was your weekend? What did you do?" And I'm just like,
You've probably heard, if you've read about ADHD and stuff, time blindness.
Oh yes, this is my new system. I'm trying out a new. You know how there's that thing where you try, like, you buy multiple notepads and things until you find the right system? I'm on like my 10th attempt at finding the right system. Like I knew I had this at 10:30, so technically I could have done things beforehand, but I was like, oh my goodness, like what if I can't do anything else in case something happens. So and I'm very proud of myself because I came through here and I was like sitting at my desk for 25 past, which for me is a record. Like my mum.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. That's like, because usually I'm the person who thinks like, so say for example, I have to be somewhere for 10:30 for speaking sake, right? So I'll be like, right, I'll need to leave the house at X amount of time, but that's fine because then in that time I can go for a coffee, I can drop this parcel off, and I always think in my head that I can cram more stuff in that time, and then lo and behold, what happens? I end up like in a fluster and like running late. And even like mum's pointed out that she's noticed like kind of my timekeeping's got really bad, and like that really embarrasses me because I never used to be like that, and I don't want to be like that. I was saying to Fiona, I don't know what happened, because I've always been someone that, although I can be very indecisive, generally speaking, if I decide to do something, like I'll go and do it. So for example, I ended up staying on for a 6 year at school because I wanted to be a marine biologist, and I had to get the extra, I can't remember what class it was, or credits it was I had to get into that. And then something in me, and again I don't know if I've just blocked this out my memory, but I just thought, actually I'm going to be sensible and I'm just going to go to, so I live in Kilmarnock, which is like in the west coast of Scotland, like Ayrshire, and for me to do marine biology I was going to have to, I think it was St Andrews actually I was going to think about going to, But something in me just went, I'm going to be sensible and I'm just going to go to Glasgow and I'm just going to stay at home and just travel, and I'll just do like well, it ended up being, it was business management and marketing and history, because history was like what I was really interested in. So, because I thought, yeah, I'll get like a job with that and blah, blah, blah. And generally speaking, I don't have regrets in my life, but that is one of the regrets I have. I was like, I don't know why I decided to do that. Like, why did I not go and pursue something that I was genuinely like interested in and passionate about?
It's a bit something we have to ask. I'm sorry if this is a bit blunt, but have you ever had an issue with like body image or eating disorder type things?
I've not had an eating disorder, but I do kind of have an up and down relationship with my body image. I would say this is probably, would I say this is the heaviest I've ever been?
Oh man. Yeah, the other thing that's important for ADHD, and sorry, there's all these questions.
It's okay.
I feel like I'm firing stuff out. Is caffeine. What's your relationship to caffeine? Do you use it or do you avoid it? Or?
Well, I've always thought I've had a freakishly high tolerance to caffeine, so I can literally have. I'm not really meant to have them anymore because they're above me, but I could have like a can of Monster, like the energy drink, at night time and still go to bed fine. Like, it doesn't affect my sleep. I wouldn't say I have excessive caffeine intake. Like, I love like a mocha that I'll get from my local coffee shop, so I'll generally have like one of them a day. Some days I'll maybe have, if I'm at the gym or whatever, I'll have like an energy drink in the afternoon. See, to be honest, I feel like they're just a kind of placebo effect though, because as I say, it's not like, you know how some people can drink, like if my mum had a coffee, she'd be like buzzing off her face. But I don't feel any effect. So I think, as I say, I think I just drink it because it's been what I've been used to. And I drink tea like it's going out of fashion.
Because that kind of feeds the dopamine thing. Caffeine's a bit of a substitute, so I'm wondering if that's quite a common ADHD thing. So that's to know. That's kind of why I'm asking.
Yeah.
But have you ever tried a stimulant, either ADHD meds or something else? Or
No.
Tempted to try it?
No. And I've never done drugs. Well, one time I had a hash cake, but I hated it. I've got no time for it. I'm not interested.
So yeah, I think without, I know it's frustrating, without driving you nuts, I think what I'll do is I'll go away and speak to Fiona. I don't want to be, which is terrible. But it's not sort of some folk were like, yeah, this is bad. I think we've got to be very careful if there's autism and ADHD in the mix. And
Okay.
Get it right. And I can see where she's coming from with both. So although I've read her notes and she's like left me a load of stuff and emails and stuff, I think what would be best for you and ultimately what you're paying for,
Yeah.
taking that alone, is if I go away and speak to Fiona in person and we hash it out and then we come back to you. It won't cost you extra, don't worry.
Okay.
If we need to meet you again, both of us,
Uh-huh.
or if I just come back and we tell you what the diagnosis is after that meeting.
Wow, I'm always a vibe when I come on here, am I? So, it is sometime later, as you might have guessed. A lot time later, actually. It's now like back at 9 o'clock. As you saw or heard from the video clips, well, I don't know if you will, because obviously I'll need to cut it down. It was meant to have been a half an hour appointment, and we were there for over an hour. And I thought I was going to be getting my diagnosis today, but she wants to go away and talk to Fiona, who was the psychologist that I met in the first instance, and they're even talking about having a third appointment with me because they say that I'm very complex. So that's great. But today I have just been, what have I been doing? I went to Espresso Cart for a couple of hours and I managed to whittle down my email inbox to like 5 emails and set up like Asana tasks and things based on the new weekly structure that I'm working to. So, and then I made a batch of night cream, and I was gonna, because I was technically meant to have done like the whole ingredients and packaging inventory and order them and stuff. And I was going to like push on and like do that this evening, and then I thought, well, I'll be honest, I went on to ChatGPT and I just said, what do I do? And it told me to shut my laptop and chill. So I have made a child core memory for me as bran flakes. So I've made a bowl of bran flakes and a big cup of tea. And admittedly, I do have my laptop here, but it's only because my phone is charging and I want to plan out tomorrow into my diary, so I need to look at it for that. So I have been using, I don't know if I told you, I've been using the 6-minute success journal, it's called, and it's just trying to get me into the mindset of only focusing on certain tasks on certain relevant days. So like today as an operations day, so that's when I would have been like making products and whatever. Tomorrow as a growth day, so that's when I'm going to do things that grow the business. So that's like planning and writing my emails for the next, hopefully, couple of weeks. I think I'm going to make that my slice of cake focus of the day task. Oh, someone's placed an order. And what else am I doing tomorrow? Oh, there's a couple of tasks from my last call with Lauren that I want to do, so I'm going to do them. And then in the evening I've got Laura and Jane's BT, and then I'm probably going to train. But it's actually been quite an interesting exercise. Like I've only been doing it like a week or so, but telling myself that it's okay in the evenings to not work, like just to chill and whatever. So I'm also, because it's the end of the month, so today's the 30th of June, I'm going to do the monthly review part of, I'm not really sure what you write in these, to be honest. Noteworthy days, maybe? So the mantra I've got for this week is I don't need to do everything, I need to do the right things consistently. And my 2 goals for the week are build a business that supports me and protect my energy and trust my system. And then under the you'll not be able to read my writing, but under the success and progress, so for progress, so what I will do differently this week, I will stop work when I plan to stop work. I will remember that unfinished tasks are reschedules, not failures. I will trust my themed days. So there we go. I'm watching the middle. Well, where do I begin? It's now Thursday. I went to Espresso Cart because I thought, so it turns out that Thursday is the day of Jupiter, something about luck and abundance and stuff. And I had earmarked Thursdays as like my date with money day. And I got to Espresso Cart, had my action plan already about what I was going to do. Proceeded to, I noticed that I'd had an email from Universal Credit, and I get like emails in, and it's usually like advertising jobs and stuff, so I never really thought anything of it. Opened up the portal thing, and long story short, they are doing a claim review, and I have to upload evidence of the last reporting period. For which, by the way, I only got £84. And I know it's just probably part of the process, but I just think, like, when am I ever going to get a break? And I've actually just emailed St Andrew's practice because I still haven't heard. So I had that appointment on Tuesday, And I'm now just like left waiting until, like, I've not heard anything else about another appointment or anything, so I just said, can you please, like, let me know when I'm going to have this appointment, because it's really stressing me out not knowing. And I'm trying so hard to, like, the ironic thing is my phone background at the moment says, if you can imagine the worst, you can imagine the best too. So I'm trying so hard to, you know, like, be grateful for being resilient and getting through all the challenges in my life, but it's just, I would like one day, and I know that's not possible because that's life, there's always going to be challenges and stuff, but why are you over here? What's going on? I would just like one day where I didn't feel stressed and harassed when I actually was excited about stuff again, and then I feel really, what is going on? Then I start feeling really, really guilty that I'm feeling like this because yesterday I realised that I thought it was 2 years, but it's going to be 3 years next month that Joe passed away. And I need to be grateful that I'm here, but I just feel crap at the moment. And if you've been a long time watcher of this channel, you've probably realised that I can never pretend to be something I'm not. And that's the ironic thing, like in all the manifestation spheres and whatever, they always say, like, you're meant to act as if. And I just don't know. I don't know how to do that. Good morning. I feel like it's been a long time no speak. I can't remember if it has or not. I can't remember the last time I spoke to you. Was it Thursday? Wednesday? It's now Sunday. First world problems right here, but I had to wash my own hair yesterday. And I think I've left the conditioner in because it went a bit. I just let it dry overnight, but it went, I can't describe how it went. So I'm putting it in plaits in the hope that that will save it somehow. But I am about to go out and do my ice bath while it's temporarily stopped raining, which sounds contradictory because obviously I'm going to get wet while I'm in my ice bath. But anyway, I'm just going to put some incense on. Yeah, I'm just going to go into my ice bath, and then I'm absolutely starving this morning for some reason, so I'm going to make my breakfast. My new favourite thing is to have breakfast in bed. Well, I'm not in bed, I'm like sitting on my bed. And then at 11:30, Sam's coming to pick me up because we're going to go to Troon with Maggie. I did suggest a beach walk, but I don't know how up for that they'll be if it's raining. But we'll see. And then we're going to go to Drift, so that should be good. And Sunday is my day of no work. I went back to Costa at the Odeon again yesterday, and I worked on 3 of the website listings, and I created the tracker spreadsheet that's been I've been putting off doing. I wasn't technically meant to do that because ChatGPT had told me just do the listings and that is it. It even said, I know you'll just think, well, I'm here, I'll do this, which I kind of did. But I'm trying to heal my nervous system one bit at a time.
Viagra's a lot. What? Says of us, I know. We're still getting pussy.
She's getting rid of all her stripes.
My shameful stash of stripes. Well, I think there's only one bag of stripes. I think that's it. Only one bag of stripes.
And when he does an aerial kick, he stays in the air.
girls on the lounge.
Hello. Welcome to Tuesday and me feeling very sorry myself. Is it just me or does my eye look funny? Day 2 of my period and I have woken up with a horrendous migraine. And I had to ask Mum to bring me tea biscuits and ready salted crisps because I thought I was going to be sick. Touch wood, I feel a bit better now, but luckily, well, not so lucky for her, but it's kind of worked out for me. I was meant to have Jane's PT tonight at 6:30 and I kind of debated cancelling anyway, but she actually messaged me and said that she's got a cold. I swear my eye is droopy. I need to go for a shower. So it's kind of worked out. But I'm doing that whole thing of I know I need to rest, like my knees are all swollen and stuff, and I just feel... Actually, when Harry got me up at like 6 this morning, I actually felt like I was maybe also coming down with the beginnings of a cold. So I took some of that Euchinia, or whatever it's called, and that stuff that you put out your nose. But I know I need to rest, but I also can't. So I'm doing intervals of doing something. So I put a washing on and I did the washing up there, and then I'm going to rest for 20 minutes, and then I'm going to go for a shower, and then I'm going to rest, and that will hopefully please this crazy brain of mine but also help me chill. But anyway, I am on to close this off because obviously it was meant to have been done on Sunday but it wasn't. So thank you for watching, and hopefully next time you see me I'll not look as rough and I'll not feel as rough either. Bye.